Hey, so I had a technical snafu yesterday. I'm often really tired when I'm shaving, and the button that indicates whether it's recording or not, I sometimes get a little confused as to whether I need to tap it or it's already been tapped and that sort of thing. And so yesterday's recording, the last half of it is kind of, the last third of it is me kind of in between scenes, thinking, trying to clear some nose congestion, and just kind of almost standing there asleep. So it's pretty funny. All right, let's see if we can get the buttons pressed in the right way tonight. Today we're continuing with Mystic Water Egyptian Dragon. As you might imagine, this is a nicely seasoned soap with maybe some spices from that end of the world. Yesterday's shave went really well. 116 was its number with the Nacet, and so today's 117, and already got that loaded into the Gillette Sheraton vintage razor, open comb vintage razor. And the brush we're going to use today is the Omega, big old handle here, long bristles, 10098. It's still very prickly. It's not super enjoyable to use, especially compared to its Samog brothers that have started at the same time, and they are in much better condition. But, you know, he just needs to be broken in. So that's what we're doing. I've had him soaking in water for a few hours, and so we're going to see if that helps to accelerate the process. I've taken a quarter teaspoon approximately of the Egyptian Dragon and spread it into the bottom of my lather bowl. First, let me go ahead and splash my own face with some water. It's actually below freezing out there right now, so the water is, from the tap, going to be pretty cold. All right, I do have hard water. Mystic Water soaps does just fine with that. All right, so I am going to, while my beard softens because of the water, I'm going to sling most of the water out of the brush. Mystic is, as I've told you over the last few days, one of the ones where you don't want to start with very much water in your brush. I've also added an O-ring right there. You can see it, to confine the bristles a little bit so they won't splay around quite so much. I like the big handle. Yeah, you know, a little bit of spice mixture coming up. Pretty nice. And so once that kind of develops and like that, now it's time we can add water to it. Last couple days it's been about 4 teaspoons, so you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and add 2 teaspoons right away. That's safe to do as long as you kind of know beforehand. I'm going to stir slowly to not, I mean, I'm stirring up some bubbles, but they will be worked down. Won't take too long. Wonder how many uses this brush will take before it's not as prickly. Getting a little bit of the scent coming all the way up to my nose from now. That's pretty good. From there, it's pretty good. Yep, sure enough, all those bubbles pretty much gone, and we got that nice, lovely lather. Refill the syringe. Go ahead and put a whole teaspoon in. That's the benefit of using the same soap base over and over. You can have little shortcuts like that where you know how much water to add. By the way, yesterday's shave, I'm clipping off that end with the YouTube video creator thing, and so I'll republish that because it was a very good lather. Worked really well, really slick. You can read my comments and notes to see how the whole shave went. It went really well. I changed my strategy a little bit with the directional strokes to get my problem area right here. Last few shaves had not been all that great. Took a little bit more against the grain aspect to a couple of the passes, and it worked really well. And look at that. Looks terrific. We're not there yet. It looks great. I'm gonna hold back a little bit. Not give it the full 4 teaspoons of water, since this may not have been as much soap. It may not actually be the whole 1/4 teaspoon. Don't want to oversaturate it. Long handle, keeping my fingers clean as I'm mixing. Yep, let's add the rest. And this might be all I add. I can always add a little bit to my brush during the shave if I need to. This way I don't take it too far. Yesterday's was nice. It was slick, very protective. I ended up with very minimal irritation, but it was still creamy as I rinse my face between passes and that sort of thing. So it was a delight to use. What was yesterday's scent? All right. How about that? Actually, let's add a little bit more water to that. That's pretty firm. See how it's holding itself up? So I'm going to refill the syringe for a 3rd time now. Just going to add a half teaspoon. So 4.5 teaspoons of water for this one. Can't wait for this brush to kind of open up and splay, but mainly it holds a reasonable amount of lather right now. Mainly what I'm looking for. Since it's a bore, it requires break in. I'm looking for those tips to split, because that's going to mean the facial comfort. Make it a very enjoyable brush to use. It'll be a beast because it's got so much loft, so much length to its hairs. That's why I put that O-ring on there. All right. Yeah, let's just stop there. Go with that. One final splash of water on my face. All right, let's see how prickly these tips are. Yeah, pretty prickly. They're fine when painting, of course. So this soap is a little stronger than some of the others. That's good. Glad I tried it. It's kind of an interesting mix. Let's just leave it at that. I'd probably, in terms of brushing, I mean, the good thing is it's not as prickly as it was before, so it is changing. So that's good. A few more shaves should really make a difference, I think. All right, 117th use. It is pulling just a little bit as I'm shaving here because it's the first pass. It doesn't pull very much at all on the second and third pass, but it's a tolerable amount. It's not uncomfortable. It's not smooth by any means, but I'm just curious how I would probably in the future, you know, once I see how long this particular blade will go, don't expect that I don't expect that I'm gonna go quite this far with it on a general basis. Maybe 70 uses, maybe. It did really well for about 70-ish uses for me. All right, rinse. All right, so that first pass, I'd probably say, in terms of scent strength, as I load up my brush here, probably say that was a 4, maybe a 5, depending on your nose. So that's success. I thought it was, you know, pretty well lubricative. Nice creamy feel as I rinsed it away. Pretty standard for Mystic Water. Just a wonderful soap base they have. The one tricky thing is making sure you come in with a fairly dry brush and work it for a little while before you start adding water. I said fairly dry, I meant to say kind of just very lightly wet. All right. Second pass, cross graining a little bit. Very comfortable. with its current age, I have to get a good shave, it seems, in my trouble spot area, I have to be very strategic. And when I say I have to be strategic to get like a DFS shave, because this is actually a trouble spot no matter how old the blade is. Rinse time. How much lather we have after 2 passes? That's going to be plenty. And with these long and bristles that don't splay all that much, I'm doing more of a push down motion to jam that soap up into them so it'll hold more, instead of a swirling motion. Also, I did dry my face after that rinse. That's something you can do to fine tune your lather, because then my face is not bringing any more moisture into the picture, and so that could help to fine tune your ratio. I wanted to try just a little bit more creamy. Lather feels terrific. Done a good bit of scrubbing already, so the painting is really all that's needed at this point. So all I'm doing now, going back over my cheek areas, which have been shaven really well, focusing on my angle to make sure that I get the best angle I can, and just get any stray hairs that might be around. Really slick as usual, so this is a good mix, good ratio of lather, at least according to my preferences. All right, trouble area here. Try kind of a slant motion to maybe get a better slicing action. Well, that looks really good. I'm going to touch it up one more time. That looks really good. Getting a good shave today. And rinse. So apparently they scent their soaps kind of on the low end at Mystic Water. Probably not to have a concentration so high that it irritates people's skin and things like that. And that's probably well served for this scent, because it's got some of those Oriental scents, but it's been blended really nicely. Really hard for me to pull out individual pieces of it to be able to describe it. But it could be overwhelming if it was stronger, but it's not. So it sits in a nice place. I don't think I would order a tub of it. Maybe I'd like the leather and smoke a little better in terms of just the scent profile. Even though it's just a tad weaker, this is a little bit stronger. It's definitely, I'm definitely able to enjoy it during the shave. So in terms of scent strength, this may be the best one that I've tried so far among about 7 different tries yet. I think I've got 3 or 4 more soaps left to go before my pre-chosen selection is run through. So towel blotted my face, so we're ready to do a little touch up on my neck here. Feeling good about this shave. and I was doing a little bit of a slide before. Let's see, what if we tried something like this? A little bit of a against the grain aspect to it. It's stirring up it feels weird. It feels like I could be getting razor rash from it. So let's try, and I'm doing it at a slant to try to help mitigate that. And there we go. Whoa. That looks really good. I think that's a good strategy. I was very careful with it. I watched my angle. It did feel a little weird, but I think that's money right there. All right, I'm going to rinse that off. That's an amazing close cut. It's hard to find any tips with any length. It's hard to find any tips with just dots that I can see. So I think what happened was that one, my hair right there kind of grows to it at a down tilt a little bit. And my usual strategy is to come at it from this so that I'm not 90 degrees like this, but I've got a little bit of an against the grain attitude. So I decided to come at it kind of from the bottom, from that same kind of slant type angle. What's the word I'm looking for? Oblique, maybe. But just coming from the bottom. And then I compounded that to get a slicing action. That was my direction. But I turned my blade just a little bit and had kind of a diagonal move along there too, and that apparently was crazy effective. It did bother me just a hair, just because it was more against the grain than I can usually shave. But I bet this irritation is going to be gone before the balm sets in at the end of the shave. So maybe it's worth it. But anyway, crazy good close result. Really nice with a 117th use blade, which is nuts. So this scent is definitely in that warm and spicy family. And so also in that family is Prix de Provence number 63, this balm from France. This is a balm that I usually like to put on when I have a little bit of water on my face. It's much easier to spread around that way. But I just go with the grain of my hair, and that way it doesn't stir up any irritation with the application of the balm. Very nice. Yeah, it's a good scent. This is amazing soap, by the way. Number 63 from PDP. Very economical because it's a hard soap. It may cost, I think I saw it on sale once for like $13, and that's a crazy deal because it lasts a really long time because it's triple milled. It's very hard. Nice warm scent though. I really like it. Wouldn't mind using that for the rest of my life if the zombie apocalypse came about and that kind of thing, but it's a good soap. All right, shave is done. So water used, 4.5 teaspoons for maybe just a hair less than a quarter teaspoon of soap. And it was a great mix. I had a wonderful, silky, slick feel during each pass rinse. The protection was terrific. I just don't have almost any irritation at all. The slide, the glide was just great. So very happy all the way around with that. How much extra lather do we have? Quite a bit, a couple of passes. And look at it slide down. It's very slowly sliding down my brush, and that's a good sign. That's a good sign of a nice, well-hydrated, at least for this soap, nice, well-hydrated, slick lather. And yeah, sure, there was maybe 1.5 more passes than I usually like to have, but, you know, big deal. It's all right. All right, well, I want to clean up. I'll be back later. So I just finished stropping this boar brush on the towel back there. You can see it. It's not expanding very much at all. It's not splaying quite nearly as much as its Semogue brethren that are being trained up and broken in at the same rate as this is. So this just has stiffer bristles. It's just the way it goes. It'll take a little bit longer to get it there, and that's okay. But I don't think it's going to take a super long time, because I think I'm just at maybe 5 uses with it. So it's, you know, it is slow going, but because I'm doing 3 at a time, you know, and then every 4th shave is a badger, and so they should basically used every 4 days. Benefit to that is that I give it 3 days of rest, 3 days of drying, because that drying cycle is where the tips start to split, and there are definitely a good many tips. Yeah, oh yeah, you can see that guy right there. Definitely a good many tips that have split. Just need to keep on going and get more that way. So it's not quite comfortable yet, but it's a lot less prickly than it was a couple of uses ago. That's for sure. So I think I like my soaking method, where I'm soaking it for a few hours before use each day. I'll keep trying it. There's a slight difference in the scent on the 63 balm, of course, than the Egyptian dragon soap, but there is enough commonality where I believe they work really well together. But I do prefer the 63 scent, definitely, to the other. But I was pleasantly surprised with the strength in this soap, like I mentioned, so it's got that for it. And I don't think it's going to offend too many people. If you want to try something a little kind of exotic and warm and gently spicy, if you will. So, good soap. Did not expect the close shave that I got right here. Wow, that's just crazy. I think that's close to what you guys can get who go against the grain more consistently than I can. It's just very difficult for me to do it without razor rash and that sort of thing. And so it looks like maybe if I can do it a little gently, I'll continue to get good results like this. So that's pretty crazy good. So that balm left my face feeling not greasy, just kind of just moisturized, you know, good feel, absorbed pretty quickly. So I like that. So we're good. Irritation free. Nice close shave, sweet. 117 uses. Can you believe that? So I've got 3 more before I hit 120. And I'll probably pause for a little while and I want to be able to switch back and use some of my milder razors, which I can't use with the old blade. So the 20 will be my landmark for a little while, and then we'll whip it back out again. See if we can go to 130. Isn't that crazy? All right. Hope there was something here for you. Pleased that the strength of the soap was really good. I'll mark that on the little index card that I may have showed you before. So really happy about that part. And good shave. Good shave. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves. You take care. Have a good night.